We are here for our first episode of our Police Commission Task Force podcast or interview. I'm Kiara Zachary, staff liaison for the Golden Valley Police Commission Task Force, and I am joined with two of our fabulous members, Mr. James Rhodes and Mr. Chris Hartzler.
Hello.
Today, we're just going to have a really brief discussion, provide some background information about the commission and the task force, and kind of where we are. How does that sound?
Sounds great.
All
Excellent.
right. Thank you. Well, first things first, let's just have you introduce yourselves. Chris, do you want to go first?
Sure. I'm Benjamin Chrysander Hertzler. I go by Chris, and I've been a resident of Golden Valley going into my third year now. Uh, yeah, it's a wonderful town. I love living here.
Wonderful. Thank you. All right, Mr. Rhodes.
That's that. I'm Jim Rhodes. I live in Golden Valley, realtor here. I've been in Golden Valley since 2000, so I've been here 20 years. I have loved this community. It's a great location. It's centered where we need it, and it's had a great sense of community the entire time that I've been here. Really happy to be part of Golden Valley's activity.
Wonderful. So I'm going to throw in an additional question for both of you. Why did you decide to join this task force?
Do you want to start, James, or should I?
I can start if you will.
All right.
Jim speaking. I wanted to join it because with all the events going on as in our society as we see it, it seemed like a good time to understand better both sides of the community service issues that we face.
Mm.
When we talked about the police commission task force, it was more a chance to understand from the policeman's point of view, what is life like out there? I mean, it's easy for us to be Monday morning quarterbacks and say what we thought should have happened and why, but we're not in the game, so to speak, at the moment that it's happening. So it's all retrospect. And I thought this would be a great chance to get a chance for me to understand their side and to help them understand from my perspective, being a Black male, what we see from this side.
Excellent. Chris, what about you?
For me, I come from just activism in general. When I was in college, I got involved with my local community government, and it was something that really kind of lit a passionate fire in me that if I want to try and help change the world, the best way to do that is to focus on the local community around me. What groups can I join? Where can my hands benefit the community through work? Where can my ideas benefit the community through ideas? And that was what led me to apply for the police department task force for building this new commission.
Well, we are so glad to have both of you. And it really is the diverse experiences that all the task force members bring, their lived experiences and attitudes and opinions that really make it what I believe is going to be something that will develop a wonderful commission to support the community. So let's go ahead and get into our questions. This one is for Mr. Rhodes, for Jim. What is the Police Commission Task Force? Just tell us about that. What is it?
The Police Commission Task Force is a group of citizens of Golden Valley with a cross section through all areas, all neighborhoods, all races, all genders. We really wanted to make a group that represented the community itself. And we wanted to look at the idea of policing and looking at that concept and the model and understanding, has it changed over time? Should it change as we move forward? Our communities are a lot different now. They're composed of a lot of different pieces and people. And there's a lot of different interests that need to be thought about and worked with now that we're aware of a lot of different issues. And it does the old mold just doesn't seem to fit. So the commission was basically asked for by the city council to look at the policing model itself, among other things, and understanding how do we change it in our changing environment. Does it need to be changed? Are there really major shortcomings we need to be looking at? Are there strengths we need to be emphasizing? And how do we get the community and the police commission or the police departments to be more of a community, not as an adversarial group that looks and wonders what the other is doing?
Thank you. That was a beautiful summation. So my next question is for you, Chris. What has been the process for coming up with this commission?
It's been a really kind of interesting process. We started out, and like Jim said, we're a really diverse group of a lot of different people from a lot of different backgrounds. And so having that diversity, everybody came in with a little bit of a different idea of how the process should work or what we could do. And so it was a little chaotic in the early part, and we're getting much more down to the core of it now, to where the organization has come in. And of course, we're building a commission within our city government, meaning that there are existing legal and city structures. And so it's been this really exciting and a little bit hectic adventure of ideas coming forward of what we would like to do, and then determining, okay, what can we do? How can we do that? And how do we put that into a commission so that this group can continue to build a good relationship between our community and our police, even as the future changes in ways we can't predict. So it's been a lot of, I'd say, discussions and just kind of brainstorming.
Yeah, that idea generation has been really interesting to watch for me. As staff, it's, I'm there to help facilitate, right? And not necessarily to insert ideas, but and I think that's the wonderful part about having such a diverse group in the task force is that we are hearing from so many different perspectives about what does police accountability mean? What does community engagement mean? And it's been great to see.
It's
So my
delightful.
next question is for the both of you. And let's start with Chris because we ended with Chris. What do you think are the biggest hurdles or challenges for the group?
Um, Kind of what I touched on earlier, part of one of the things that I really kind of slap into a wall of is uh, the joke is I eat a whole elephant instead of one bite at a time. Getting kind of ahead of ourselves, I feel, is a hurdle that has happened before where everybody's very passionate. This is a topic everyone cares about, and sometimes there's almost a little bit too much passion, and we can get distracted on a tangent and forget what we're there for. And so that's one of the hurdles that we are getting better and better about. But I notice pop myself trip on. And another I would say is just understanding the system that we live within, because we're working with the city government, and understanding the system and the rules and the legality of what we can and cannot do, why we can and can't do it. Because there are some things that are legally not possible that I personally would like to do, but then when you look at why they're legally not possible, it's like, okay, I do agree with the ethics of why I can't do that thing. So I'd say those are two of the biggest hurdles I've noticed.
All right, thank you. What about you, Jim?
You know, Chris said it excellently. I think the biggest hurdles we've had are that the large group that we have has come in and everyone has had something in their mind that says, this is what this picture looks like. And we're trying to get it all accomplished in one foul swoop. And like Chris said, we've got to learn to take it segment at a time and put it in phases And I think that's where our learning has been. That's where the biggest hurdle has been. And our challenge is to just make sure we can keep that in our own minds and focus on the small steps at a time.
Great. All right. So our next question is for you, Jim. What can the community expect in future meetings?
I think the community can expect transparency from the group. We're going to be talking to them about in various formats, trying to get formats that match the different profiles of the community. I mean, some work with Snapchat, for example. Some work with personal in-person meetings. Some work with WebExes. So we're trying to figure out how to get to the community in the best way possible, and they can expect to hear what our thoughts have been and where we're looking at going. They can also expect to hear from us with requests for information and feedback. It's not, we don't want this to be something that's just contained within the commission itself. We want voices from the community. We want to hear them and their reactions to what our thoughts are. And then we'll be continually updating them on what that is, so they can expect requests for feedback. They can expect understanding of where we're heading and what we're talking about. And they can expect reports on how we've blended what their thoughts and feedback have been into what we're doing.
Thank you. So we're going to just wrap it up quickly. And, Mr. Rhodes expanded on some of these, but Chris, what are other ways, or how can folks get involved in this process when we're thinking about creating a new police commission or get involved in the Golden Valley community in general? How can they get involved if they want to?
There are a lot of different ways to get involved. Things like James mentioned, that we are going to be putting out surveys. We're going to be reaching out. A commission that builds a bridge between police and community can only do its purpose well if the community is communicating with us. And so it's definitely key that folks know that we're here to listen. We want everyone's ideas because we're trying to build this for Golden Valley, not for me specifically, but for the entire city. And so just keeping an eye out for those surveys, keeping an eye out on the Golden Valley government website, which has a lot of really good information. We've got a couple YouTube pages that I noticed right away when I moved into Golden Valley that have information, and then just reaching out. And like Councilwoman Gillian Rosenquist is helping us with this. So even if you have no other contacts, if you send her office or the city council members that you know better some thoughts, they can channel this down to us. So it's just having the motivation to get involved in the process is the biggest step, because there are lots of methods once the motivation is there.
Well, thank you. Thank you both for this quick chat. I feel like we've covered everything that we want to. Our next meeting is next Thursday, March 25th, 2021. Right now, the task force meets via WebEx on the second and fourth Thursday of every month. We meet from 5 to 6:30. And all of our meetings are posted online, our agendas and recordings. So this isn't the last time that you'll hear from us. Thank you for listening, and have a great day.
Thank you all.
Thank you.